from 101.5 The Hawk.
It is 1:55, and joining us live in studio, Premier Darrell Dexter. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Joined also by Greg Morrow from the Hawk Newsroom.
Good afternoon, Kelly.
Good afternoon, Greg.
Good afternoon, Premier. Thanks for coming in and sharing a couple minutes with us. It means a lot to the people around here to update them on what you've been up to the last couple of days. So you've met with local political figures, union leaders, Chamber of Commerce just now. When you have those meetings, do you update them? Do you listen to their concerns? A little bit of both? How does that work?
Yeah, it really is a little bit of both. As far as I'm concerned, this is going to be the answer to these issues is going to be reached on a cooperative basis. We all need to put aside anything but the best interests of the people who are going to be affected by this. And I've said right from the very beginning, my concern is about the 1,000 families who rely on the operation of this mill for income security, for their way of life, for ensuring they are able to live with a reasonable standard of living, and that their kids are able to continue to stay here and to work here. So that's what we're focused on. And today we had some very good discussions around how we can get to that.
Well, I guess lead into that. How much further ahead are you now than you were 2 days ago?
Well, I think like everyone else, I heard about this just shortly after I think the management and union did, that this decision had been made. Was I don't think an expected result for anyone. So since then, I've had the opportunity, of course, to talk with the management. I had them in to meet with me. They mapped out a number of things that we might be able to do together that would be of some assistance to them. I talked to the union. I've had an opportunity to go through the municipalities. I've talked to my colleagues and other in the federal bureaucracy about what might be available there, and we're getting to a point that there are some things that we're getting together. For example, we know one of the big issues, of course, is around the contractors and who are in the woodlands. They put a lot of money into the equipment that they run, and if they don't have an income stream, then that puts a tremendous amount of pressure on them, and some of them might not be able to continue. So we're going to have in place by September 9th a plan that will allow them, those woodland contractors, to continue to work and to have an income, so that they're not forced to either sell equipment or to take themselves out of the business altogether, which would be the worst possible result, because of course when the mill comes back up and back into operation, you're going to need those assets in order to be able to supply fiber to the mill. So we're going to protect that in the interim. We're working with the management of the mill to talk about how we can market better the products that are actually produced at the mill. We want to be able to increase the revenue stream for the mill, and of course we're looking at whatever opportunities there are to address the question of costs. And these are all things that we need to be doing.
And the announcement with the woodlot contractor that was just made today. That's new news.
That's new news for you. The reality is that the province has had an internal committee dealing with the question of mills from the time from shortly after we were elected, because we recognized back in June of 2009 that there were going to be significant pressures on the mill, and we got through a period when Abitibi-Bowater went down in the United States, and that put an awful lot of pressure on the Liverpool mill. There's still a lot of pressure on the Liverpool mill, let me say, but we managed to get through that period. There was a lot of pressure on the Abercrombie mill. We dealt with them. We put in place a large land purchase program that was taken advantage of by the various mills. So we've recognized for some time that there are significant issues, but we also recognize that these are provincial assets. That what happens here doesn't just affect Port Hawkesbury or the eastern region, it affects the province, and that's the way we look at it.
Touched on it a little bit, but where do you go from here after you've done these initial meetings? What happens next for you?
Well, it's the hard and practical slogging of putting together those plans and executing them. If you're going to have a marketing plan, you have to have marketers. You have to have people who are familiar with the industry. They got to be out in those markets selling the products. How that happens is not random. It takes a plan. It takes an investment of some money to make it happen. We want to take advantage of all the potential funding partners, including the municipalities and the federal government, and even the chamber today said that they would like to be part of whatever it is we're prepared to do, and certainly we welcome the help.
Based on what you're hearing, what do you see as a more likely scenario? NewPage reopening, or a buyer or new company coming in and taking over?
I don't think there's any kind of limit to the kind of potential outcomes. What we need to focus on, to whether it's the continued operation by this company or the purchase by another, is to ensure the fundamentals are sound, because anybody who's going to operate that mill is going to look at what their markets are, who they're selling to, what their revenue stream is, and what their cost base is, and it's business, and they're going to look at that, and certainly we understand it, but I look at it from the perspective of the families that are affected here. I think they expect that we're going to do everything we can to protect their interests, and they're first and foremost in my mind.
Okay, so speaking of them, my last question, you had the announcement for the woodlot contractors. How does the provincial government help this area if, and looks like inevitability, when the shutdown happens next month? What do you do for this area for the people that are left? We are taking the view that this is going to be an idling of the plant, and that it's what they call a hot idle, which means they can bring the plant back up as soon as possible. And that we're operating under those assumptions. As I said, with respect to woodland contractors, we're going to keep ensure that they have the opportunity to keep busy, keep running, and that of course is a significant portion. And by then we'll get a better sense of what this is going to mean for the direct employees. How many are going to be kept on for what period of time? There are still fixed costs there, and what kind of provisions are going to be made for the other workers. We'll work with both management and union to see what it's necessary for us to do. Labor and Advanced Education, for example, has a transition team that comes in these kinds of circumstances and works with the workers themselves. That's all my questions. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
No, I'm just I just think that this area of the province has the opportunity to be one of the great economic engines of the province, and we should view this in that light, that there are always kind of bloody noses along the road to success, but you just keep your head down, you just keep working, and we'll get it done.
You're very busy, tight schedule. Appreciate you coming in.
No, my pleasure. Thank you.
Premier Darrell Dexter on live with us on 101.5 The Hawk.